The Scarsdale Diet versus Atkins and Keto. Back in the late 1970s and early 80s, there was a diet craze that swept the world, the Scarsdale Diet. Millions of people jumped on board, shedding weight quickly. But here's the catch. While many saw dramatic results, almost no one could sustain it long term. Today, let's break down what the Scarsdale Diet was, why it worked, and why it didn't, and then compare it to two of the most famous low-carb diets that followed, Atkins and Keto. The Scarsdale Diet was created by Dr. Herman Tarnower, a cardiologist from Scarsdale, New York. His 1978 book, The Complete Scarsdale Medical Diet, became a bestseller. I remember picking the Scarsdale Diet book off our living room table as my mother was trying the diet for herself. She lost 7 pounds in 1 week, and the diet was very strict, but if you wanted to lose weight quickly, it really worked, and fast. The plan was strict, very low calorie, about 800 to 1,000 per day, and very low carb. Meals were rigidly outlined for each day with hardly any room for substitutions. Breakfast was always the same: half a grapefruit, a slice of dry protein bread, and black coffee or tea. Lunch and dinner were usually lean proteins like chicken, fish, or cottage cheese paired with vegetables. The promise: lose up to 20 pounds in just 2 weeks. And so many people did. So if it was so effective, why didn't the Scarsdale Diet last? The problem was sustainability, because calories were so restricted and fats were almost eliminated. People felt hungry, deprived, and often tired. And the diet was also nutrient deficient, repetitive, and too extreme for long-term health. And most people who lost weight on Scarsdale gained it back once they returned to normal eating. Nutritionists criticized it as a crash diet, effective for a quick weight loss, but not a realistic lifestyle. Fast forward to the 1970s and 90s, and along comes Dr. Robert Atkins with the Atkins Diet. Atkins also restricted carbs, but in a very different way. Instead of focusing on calorie limits, Atkins encouraged unlimited protein and fat, especially in the early induction phase. Bacon, eggs, steak, butter, all were allowed and encouraged to eat daily. Atkins promoted the idea of ketosis, where your body burns fat for fuel instead of carbs and no more feeling hungry. Over time, Atkins became more flexible, adding phases that gradually reintroduced some carbs. It was less about starving yourself and more about changing your body's fuel source. Compared to the Scarsdale Diet, Atkins was higher in fat, higher in calories, and much easier to stick to long term, although it still faced criticism for encouraging too much saturated fat. And then came Keto, based on the Atkins diet, which exploded in popularity in the 2010s. In many ways, it's a cousin of Atkins, but more refined. Keto is very high fat, about 70 to 80% of daily calories, moderate in protein, and extremely low in carbs. The goal is to stay in ketosis continuously, not just in one phase. Unlike Atkins, Keto emphasizes the quality of fats. Think avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts, and salmon, rather than just butter and bacon. And the keto diet isn't marketed only for weight loss. It's linked to brain health, blood sugar control, and even medical uses like epilepsy treatment. So if Scarsdale was the crash diet grandfather of low carb, Atkins was the rebellious uncle, and keto is the modern science-backed version that's still popular today because it is far more sustainable. In summary, the Scarsdale diet made waves because it worked. People did lose weight fast, but it was simply too limited and too restrictive to be sustainable. Atkins took the low-carb idea mainstream, while keto took it further, creating a modern lifestyle around fat as fuel. So what do you think? Would you have tried the Scarsdale diet back in the 80s? Would you try it now for rapid weight loss? Or do Atkins and keto make more sense today? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of diet and nutrition.